Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. And so I have this app called Game Master, and these are all the different campaigns I run or have run. And yeah, basically, I'm gonna be doing a little tutorial on how to use this app. I don't know if I'm gonna break it down into little pieces or I'm just gonna make just one really long video, but I'm gonna do that. So let's start a new campaign. All right, so obviously have at the bottom you can see all of these different campaigns which you can actually copy. But what we're going to do is we're going to create a new one, right? So first off, obviously you're going to have to a title. So let's just say I'll put Hero's Journey or something, Hero's Journey. Right, cool. So obviously, boom, you've got yourself a title. Now you need the player's characters. You can put this down. Don't worry about that. That's just bunch of characters I have made before. So you want to click create. Now you have their name. You can put their name, race and class, levels, sizes, which can vary. Type, which is most of the time, unless you're playing like some super special campaign where characters get to play monsters or whatever, this would be humanoid. So you're gonna want to put humanoid. So let's just make like a quick character, right? Let's name him John. John. He is a human champion fighter. And he's level 1. Sure. He's a lawful good man. Basic. Let's just say he's wearing plate armor. Which is, AC 18. Now he's a level 1. I guess 10 will be good. So yeah, we can go with all this stuff. All right. So you can put the armor, hit points, hit dice, speed. Initiative bonus is actually new. This wasn't here for like the longest time, but since they finally updated it, I'm glad they did. So they added initiative bonus. You can put that there. Ability scores, saving throws, skills, details. This is also very nice. If you are playing like a tiefling or whatever, or whatever. Now this is mostly for the GM to keep track of. So I'll be going over Fight Club, which is another app used for that. But this is just for you as a GM if you want to keep track of your player stats, help them keep track of their hit points, all the other stuff. You can add traits and stuff. So like this is really good if one of your players is missing and you need to control their character, because all that other stuff. This is a very good way to go. It's a really great way to simplify all of your players' abilities and stuff, and of course description, any of that. So let's just add John right next. So now we have this. We have all of these different things. So first off, there are adventures. So we click create an adventure. Let's say the Goblin Nest or whatever, or Goblin Village. Now this is where it kind of gets cool. So as many of you may know, D&D is sort of broken down into different separate adventures, and in between them you can have little pauses and sort of downtime and all that. You can I'm just gonna add this real quick. I'm gonna do this, right? We're gonna go to here. So this is how the interface looks normally. If you want to make NPCs or non-player characters, as you can see here, that appear throughout the entire campaign, like throughout, like from the beginning, they'll occasionally show up, or at least you wanna, if at any time you wanna pull them in, and you can just put them like immediately down. Like let's say, I'll come back later. You'll want to put them here. See, non-player characters here. These like NPCs that you put here will show up anytime. So let's just make one. Let's just make one. All right. So this is a character builder. Very simple, right? For making NPCs and such. Obviously, let's just like make like a medium humanoid. Also, lawful good. Let's make John's sister, who's also a fighter. She also is wearing plate armor. However, she's a little beefier. Now. What you can do is that obviously she's a medium creature, so she has a D8 hit dice. So this is up to you whether or not you want to use actual physical player stats. So let's say, like, even though she's an NPC, she has 5 levels in the fighter. So you're gonna want to use a D10, or you just want to use a normal D8 and determine her health based on the challenge rating or the CR. And you can look in the DMG. If you're a GM, you have a DMG. You can look at the DMG, determine how much hit points a CR half would have. So let's just say, but I'm gonna go with, to make it simple, I'm gonna go with just she's a level 5 fighter, so do that, right? We're not gonna worry about any of that. We're just gonna do this. Oh, actually, this is bothering me. There you go. So let's say her name is Joanna John. All right, there you go. She is a fighter. Actually, battle master. Sure. Done. So you got yourself Joanna Jan, and of course, by the way, you can have them set as enemies and all that stuff, which is good to have. So we got John, and Joanna John, and so let's go back to our village. As you can see, it just shows up non-player character. All right, that's nice. If we go over here, edit adventure, non-player characters doesn't show up. That's because NPCs that you make in this specific adventure will stay just in this adventure. So let's make a goblin. So this is a good time to show how this can also work. So you don't have to make your own NPCs. You can just click the little plus here at the bottom, and you can make your own character or creature or whatever. You can change the different types, AC, hit point. You can manipulate all of that. Speed, you have walking speed, burrow, climb, fly, swim. You can even determine which proficiencies what they're proficient in based on their saving throws, skills, and such. And of course, it'll calculate all of that for you. And as you know, their CR will completely depend on what their saving throws, their proficiencies will be based off of CR. But we're not going to do that. In fact, what we're going to do is, because it's really easy, we're going to go to Bestiary and look. Now, I just want to mention there's a lot of downloadable content you can find. But normally you'll start off with just the normal basic stuff that you can find for free, and then you can look around and find some free downloadable stuff that people have made. So in this one, I have stuff from Tone of Beast, which is a homebrew book, which downloads all of that. And you also have I believe let's keep going down. Tome of Beasts, Tyranny of Dragons, yep. I believe Mordenkainen and Tome of Foes is here. Monster Manual. This will actually not have Monster Manual stuff in it. So yeah. Let's leave. All right. So again, it's divided up by alphabetical order, challenge rating, and types. Which I'm gonna be honest with you. I use types 90% of the time. Then there are creatures by environment. This one is a little janky, because there are some creatures that will show up, in here, or in my opinion, don't even bother looking at this. Now, I mean, this is partly because of this is a problem for me because I have a lot of homebrew stuff that I've obviously added, because you are given so much freedom to manipulate stuff. So creatures by environment, this is kind of hard because I almost never keep track of the environment. So of the creature's environment and all that stuff. So that one is yeah. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and go over here, and you can obviously search. We're gonna search goblin. Ooh, look at that. We have a bunch of goblin stuff. There's some homebrew stuff that I made. And then obviously there are some stuff that are like this, the Iron Shadow, which is from Volo's Guide to Monsters. obviously we're making a goblin boss, so we're gonna put goblin boss boom, right? So it immediately shows us all of its stats, environments, abilities. When we click, we can manipulate this. We can change this. So let's say, like we're instead of a bunch of level 1s, it's actually a bunch of level 4s. All right. Well, we might make them a little stronger, so maybe a CR 2 or 3. We might increase the amount of hit dice they have from sort of 6 to 12, maybe 18. Triple the amount of hit dice we have. And again, if you manipulate the Constitution, like let's bring the Constitution to 14. He'll have more hit dice because the amount of damage or health you have is determined by that. So here's another interesting thing. When you click next, his hit points will be as you can see it's 99. It does the average, just does the straight average of what you would get. Now you can roll this yourself, or you could just choose the average. I just normally go with the average. It doesn't matter. Let's give him a name. Gobby the Goblin. Sure. Gobby the Gerblin. Let's go with that. He's an enemy, obviously. So boom. So done. So now, as you can see, boom, we have 2. Now we have campaign characters, and now we have non-player characters. Campaign characters, if we go back, are the characters that show up here in non-player characters. But this is like for the overall, and this is for just this adventure. Gobby the Gerblin is probably just a one-off character that the players are going to kill. We're going to keep him here in the Goblin Village sort of adventure. So yeah, let's move on. Now let's make an encounter. Don't worry about this because you can hide encounters. So let's say we'll go back to that later, but let's create one. All right, now we have John, the human champion fighter. We want to make some enemies. Let's just say, so at the bottom here, actually, I'm going to go back to that later. So at the bottom here, we have constraints. So obviously he's level 1. So let's say a deadly. Let's put him in a deadly situation, right? This one is more of a randomizer, right? It'll just put in a bunch of them. So I just put in a bunch of them so you can set the CR, so like the minimum 0, maximum 30. But by the way, just because it says deadly does not mean like if I roll, boom, obviously I'm not going to get, a Tarask. As you can see, it says a baboon and a drow spore servant, which I believe that is actually in, some sort of, I think that's out of the abyss. Or not, maybe, it's from, Volga monsters. But as you can see, it can do things for you. It's very good. So deadly would be 112 XP. A level 1 fighter is not going to be able to fight 2 baboons and a drow servant. It's not. They're not. But it's deadly. So let's go to hard. Boom, cheetah and an octopus. Sure, it's a weird combo, but as you can see, it's medium. It gives you, it's worth 35 XP, but if he's able to fight, he actually earns 70. The XP you want to give is the one in the parentheses. Not the one, because the one in the parentheses is that, the one in the left that's not in parentheses is the XP these 2 creatures are worth. But the one in parentheses is adding the fact that, yes, this is a level 1 character fighting these 2 creatures. So it's going to be difficult for him. So it gives him a little bit more XP, knowing that, oh yeah, this lower level person is fighting a more difficult battle. And let's go down to medium. Boom. You got in it, rinse and repeat. It's just going to be like that. All right, so if you don't want them, you can just remove them. Yeah, remove. So let's say they want to fight some goblins. So let's put some goblins in. Oops. All right, let's, boom, there you go. So, obviously we can go down here and change all stuff, but we're not going to do that. Labels. You can get, if they have a specific, like, let's say, these are, tribal goblins, or whatever. Or just put tribal goblin, boom, there you go. You can manipulate the quantity, so you can have up to 10 or 10 million. There's really no limit to how many exactly enemies you can put, but we're just gonna put 3. Now this is interesting. These are so when you put them down, it'll show up in the list, or sort of the before, like, you roll, it'll show up the list. So let's say it's gonna have 3. Let's just say there are two goblin groups, right? And one is tribal goblins, and the other one is another tribal goblin, but they're enemies. So this is what this would be for. This would help you keep track. So Goblin 1 would be like tribe Ukatoa or Ugabuga. Let's say the numbers is tribe Ukatoa, right? And then, but there's another set of goblins, or a different tribe. They might hate each other, but they're both after you. But you want to keep track of them because, maybe, I don't know, tribe culture, goblin culture is important or something. Boom. You can change it. And I'll show exactly what that means to you later. So let's keep it at ABC. Obviously, boom, you can manipulate it, change it, all the stuff. What you can do is, if you want to give them a little beefier health, you can add a D6, and obviously, boom, up top, it'll be 3D6. And you can roll and, change your hit points, all that stuff. So let's add. This is a deadly encounter. This is 3 goblins, a level 1 fighter. This is dumb. But let's click next. As you can see, boom, tribal goblin A, tribal goblin B, tribal goblin C, and the same would be for numbers. It would be tribal goblin 1, 2, 3. The beginning. Begging. Beginning, there you go. Boom. Now that we're done, as you can see, let's go back into here. It'll have all of this. So what you want is to click roll initiative. Now, before we do that, we can go over here and we can go to options. Oops, no, not options. Sorry. Which one was it? Rules reference? All right, let's just roll initiative. Boom. It will roll initiative for you, except for your players, because obviously your players are going to be the ones rolling initiative. However, let's just say your players aren't here. One of your players isn't here. You can just click that. You can either enter their initiative roll if the players are here, or you can auto roll. Let's start. Now, let's go back over here. That will matter if the initiative bonus is here. Now, again, if your players are lazy and you're like, roll it for me, boom, that you could always do that. Done. So there you go. Let's go back to the beginning. I need to check real quick. Is it options? Oh, it is options. Okay, as you can see right here, play options. I had group creatures on. So that means all creatures that are the same, like this is tribal goblins, will all have the same initiative rolls. I do this because I tend to make mob creatures, which are like creatures that are all like in a big group together and all have the same stats. I like to think of them as like one big old group that works together like in unison. So I give them all the same initiatives. And also it's just much easier to keep track, much easier to control and all that. So yeah, they have auto roll initiatives, which, most of the time you're not going to want that because the players want to roll their own. But if they're lazy, you can obviously roll for them. There's easy mode. I've never used easy mode, or at the very least I have used easy mode before as like a test in the middle of like a campaign. And I never saw the difference of it. So let's put it on. All right. Right. Actually, let's put it off. Let's put it off real quick. Let's just roll let's do some rolls. Right. Let's do nat 20. Ooh, wow. Second roll. 19, 12, 19. All right. Okay. I'm getting consistently high numbers and like some low numbers. If I put on easy mode, I believe it should give me more low rolls, and it actually is giving me more low rolls, as you can see there. Instead, before, when it was on, I got like medium high, medium high, medium high, low, but now it's put it in reverse. I've gotten low, medium low, medium low, low, high, so I get a lot more. Now obviously I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I did this with a group of mine, and when I told them, yeah, I put on the easy mode rule for them, they got really upset at me because if you are gonna use it, don't tell your players, because what it will do is that when players succeed something, they're like, yes, we succeeded, but then when you tell them I had easy mode on the entire time, it completely gets rid of their accomplishments. All right, so we're back into this. You can have the different turns. You can track the turns doing this. Look at this. This is easy. And at the top right there, if you notice, it'll keep track of how many rounds and how much time has passed by. So each round is 6 seconds, and you can do all that. This is really good if there's a lot of, like, if you play with minis or whatever, and you're keeping track of like a lot of people at the same time. This is really good. This is really good for you to keep track of all this. And then obviously, you know, like, let's say goon number tribal goblin A is attacking. Boom, you can click, see all the notes. You can see, you can even have you can, oh god. You can even see rolls and such. No, okay. I just want to mention that I don't know if this is just me. I get a lot of crits. I'm pretty sure, as you guys have noticed. So you don't necessarily have to use the auto rolls, because the auto rolls are a lot less random. They're actually statistical. You can just have the actions out, and you can roll physical dice if you want to. But the auto roll is here for you if you need it. And you can keep track of the different goblins. Now, this part's the interesting thing. So let's say you wanted to add like a character on here. You click the top right, you see the 3 dots. Click that. Edit. Add combatant. Now let's say we want to add our his sister, and he's getting backed up by these 3 goblins, and he can't fight back against all of them. Boom. Click characters. Obviously, you can Joanna, can add her, and boom. Now, obviously, what you want to do is you want to roll initiative for her, and determine where she goes. And that's the only thing that's kind of difficult, is that it doesn't keep the same initiatives, or it doesn't keep track of your initiative. So there's no number that shows which initiative you're in. So you kind of have to, guess. Like, let's say she rolled a 10. Maybe she's above these guys, or maybe she's below them. But we're just gonna keep her down here. So Joanna's here. They've been fighting for 9 rounds for some reason. She shows up. Boom. You can add her in, and all that. And let's just say, oh no, the goblins are taking damage. Give her 9, -8. You can have them like that. As you can see, you can keep him moving like that. But I like to keep it in this form instead. It's 5. All right, they're damaged. Joanna has taken like 3 damage, and John has taken 9. John's at the edge of his life. He's going to die. She just came in, started cutting up these goblins. These goblins are like, no. They're hurt. So they blow a horn, and they call their master. So boom, you want to add combatant. Characters. Gobby the Gremlin arrives with his fucking. Oh my god! I didn't realize this. Oh my god, that's broken. With his 99 health. So there is a little glitch that happens. If you notice, it says character level 3. And if you go back to these guys, it's challenge rating. That is a glitch that I think they need to fix. Because it happens a lot. It happens weirdly, and it throws me off. So it doesn't matter, because it will still calculate his if you exit back, boom, as you can see, the difficulty is much higher now that we've added Gerby the Goblin. But yes, it still calculates. It still sees it, like the system still sees it as a sort of as a challenge rating, even though it's his character level. And it kind of bugs out, because Joanna, even though she has 3 levels she has 3 levels into fighter, she has a challenge rating, and then it's a problem. All right, so I think this is about as far as we should go with this. If you want me to continue making more tutorials for how to make this, we can start exploring the compendium and just how the compendium will work. So yeah, hope you guys liked the video.